There are more than 700 Confederate memorials in the United States. White supremacists have used them as staging grounds for political rallies. Many cities want to take those memorials down. The Trump administration has defended these monuments by ignoring the real reason these memorials exist in the first place. Donald Trump says removing monuments to the Confederacy would go down a slippery slope to removing monuments to all the founders.
This week it's Robert E. Lee. I noticed that Stonewall Jackson's coming down. I wonder, is it George Washington next week? And is it Thomas Jefferson the week after? You really do have to ask yourself, where does it stop?
It's true that one could argue that any slave owner should not be honored, but there aren't any cities taking down memorials to Washington or Jefferson. The reason is that, while their profiting from enslavement mars their character, Washington and Jefferson had historic accomplishments that makes them worthy of celebration. We honor them despite their record on slavery. The Confederacy is different. It was founded on the principle of slavery as its cornerstone. Honoring the Confederacy honors that principle. They also insist that to remove these monuments is to erase history.
What we have to walk away from is a desire by some to erase parts of our history just in the name of some contemporary
so you're in favor
political
of keeping
cause.
Those monuments?
That's not how memorials and statues work. They're not just some abstract form of history like ancient ruins. Memorials to the Confederacy were erected by advocates of white supremacy in order to advance and preserve segregation. Pence dismisses the movement against monuments as some contemporary political cause. But the memorials themselves were built in the name of a contemporary political cause. So, for instance, the Battle of Liberty Place Monument in New Orleans bore a plaque celebrating the event it commemorated, a violent overthrow of a democratic government. That overthrow recognized white supremacy in the South and gave us our state, the plaque says. The memorial was designed to promote a certain political arrangement. When those political arrangements lose favor, memorials designed as propaganda on their behalf often come down. That's why Americans have generally celebrated the tearing down of monuments to Lenin after the fall of communism or statues of Saddam Hussein in Iraq. That's not erasing history. It's changing the values the government wishes to celebrate. Pence might respond that it is unfair to apply the logic of the Iron Curtain or Saddam Hussein's Iraq to the United States. But then Pence would not be simply making a content-neutral defense of history. He would be taking the side of the Confederacy's defenders, who have always wished to portray it as a largely noble undertaking, rather than its critics, who see it as a tyranny whose destruction is an American achievement. Rather than defend the Confederacy outright, though, they're arguing that we should just have more memorials.
But I'm someone who believes in more monuments, not less monuments.
Monuments for everybody. So, should we build statues honoring Benedict Arnold and Alger Hiss? Probably not, because they were traitors, like the Confederacy.